Well, in the wake of Trump's decision to unilaterally withdraw from the Iranian nuclear deal, the world stands divided like never before. The U.S. will resume its economic sanctions on Tehran, but the remaining members of the original pact are urging Iran to remain in the deal, hoping to avoid a war that many suspect is now beginning to unfold. ILTV's Brett Allen Smith is here. And Brett, before we get into Europe's plan of action, what is the feeling in Iran?
So actually it's, pretty split. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says that he plans to meet with European, Russian, and Chinese members of the deal to see if they can try to figure something out. And if that's really going to be the path here, Rouhani's probably hoping that the terms of the JCPOA will actually improve in Iran's favor now that everything's, up in the air. Plus, now he has something Europe and the rest want. They want Iran to stay in the deal because the other scenario that is that everything collapses and Iran simply resumes developing nukes the very next day, which is exactly what the regime has promised to do.
Right. Well, if Rouhani is at least taking meetings first, this sounds like a somewhat diplomatic approach. But on the other hand of the spectrum, we are seeing Iranian leaders who are actually ecstatic that the deal's over because it frees Iran to develop weapons of mass destruction. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says the deal cannot be saved and that Trump's move only proves that America can't be trusted to uphold its end of any bargain.
Right. This is for sure going to fuel more extremism and mistrust against the U.S. And on top of the Guard, members of Iranian parliament just burned an effigy of the American flag during an open hearing. But look, even outside of Iran, Trump just divided the world's powers on a very critical issue that impacts everyone without offering any plan B, I might add. Take China and Russia, for example. The U.S. relations are already pretty stiff on those fronts. So if Trump just damaged or even burned a bridge or two there, that doesn't bode so well for deals that he's got to make down the line. Like Israel. I know Prime Minister Netanyahu is extremely pleased that this is the path that Trump is taking, and Netanyahu is in Russia right now talking with Putin. So the fear is, if Israel finds itself in a conflict, with Iranian proxies in Syria overseen by Russia, did Trump just blow his chance to help Israel negotiate with Putin if and when a situation like that arises?
Well, obviously, it's a huge ripple effect. That's precisely why Europe, China, Russia, and the U.S. are urging everyone to stay committed to the deal despite Trump's pullout. My question here is, can the deal still be saved?
Look, there's a chance, I'd say. The other members of the deal, spearheaded by Macron and May, they're going to try to band together as a unified front. And if in the end Iran is only looking at sanctions from the U.S., my guess is that it could survive that, and it may choose to. That would make Trump's decision yesterday, rather impotent, let's say. But the greater fear here is that Iran now gets to come to that negotiating table with a way, way better bargaining position. And considering that this deal back in 2015 took years to work together and to negotiate to get there, that's obviously not ideal for everyone else at that table that the U.S. now is no longer a part of. So the coming days are going to be very telling.
But we will, of course, be following things closely as they unfold. Thanks for joining us, Brett.
Sure.